Hey guys, back today. I just want to, today, I want to start and kind of tell y'all a little bit about what we're doing. I sent my wife to pick up some oil the other day, and I guess due to gas prices and stuff, synthetic has went up to over $50. That, the filter and everything. So I have to pinch pennies. If I was like the government, I could just spend whatever, but I can't do that. So my wife found 10W40 O'Reilly's oil, and this 4.6, it takes six quarts. So 6 quarts, and this comes from O'Reilly's. This is a MicroGuard. It's a good oil filter. It was $6. So, you're looking at $29 versus $50. So we're going to go with this. This is starting to get a lot of high mileage on it, but it's still a really good car. We're going to change oil in this thing today. A lot of folks, they use oil filters, wrenches, to get their oil filters off, but I use big plier. They just work better to me. You can move around, you can get to the filter a lot easier. And that's one thing you really need, either oil filter wrench or a big pair of pliers. And you need your socket set and a ratchet, at least a 15 or better, because your oil plug's going to be at least a 15. And some type of light. I've got a shop light in here, but I prefer this little flashlight. It's got a magnet on the end of it, so this is what I prefer. This is what I use. But before we get started, I'm going to take you under, and I'm going to kind of show you, for those of you that had never changed your oil or don't have no idea, I'm going to show you what you do and what you look for. But first thing, before we get started, I'm going to show you this before we get it dirty, and it'd be hard to understand for you. This oil filter has a rubber oil ring on it right here. And you want to make sure when you take your old one off, when you spin it off, that this oil ring comes off of the car. Sometimes it sticks to the motor when you take it off. So make sure that you look up in there and make sure this is off. And before I forget it, when you go to put your oil filter back on, take your finger, put it down in the oil, and wipe you a thin coat of oil on your new filter. Reason you do that is when you spin it, if this ring sticks to the motor, it could twist it out and it would come off. So if you put a little oil along this ring before you put it back on, it will spin and tighten. Now, a lot of folks, they like to tighten these filters when they put them back on. They like to tighten them and just keep on tightening them. These will tighten themselves. So all you have to do is screw it on, take your hand, and as tight as you can with your hand, tighten it up, and leave it alone. Because when the car gets hot, this thing will really get tight. Don't ask me I'm not really sure why it does it. All I know is it must be the expansion in this area right here, because it gets so tight after you do that, you can't hardly get it off sometimes. So just don't over tighten these, what I'm trying to say. Long story short, just screw this on, tighten as good as you can with your hand, leave it alone. But make sure you use all your strength in your hand to tighten it, and you should be fine. Now, before we go any further, like I said, I'm going to take you underneath I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing here. That way you'll have the ideal and the understanding that you have to have when you're changing the oil. Now, I just use what I use is my wife had 3 or 4 of these pans. Don't go out and spend a bunch of money on pans. Just get you a pan like this, and when you get done, pour your oil back in the bottle that it come in. If you want to recycle or whatever you want to do with that oil, you can use it. Don't go out and spend a bunch of money on these oil draining pans, because it's not worth it. But now let's get back to the project here. This particular one, as you can see, the oil filter is right here. It's right up under the front end. You can just go back, just real careful on each one of these cars, and they're all located a little bit different. I think Chevys, most of the times, they stick down. Fords are sideways. It really just, it depends on the car where they're located. And if you don't know where your oil filter is located, just Google it. It'll show. So what you want to do is you want to take your oil pan that you're going to drain in, and you want to set it. Let's go back just a little bit more here. This is the center of where the motor sets above it, and if you'll notice, as you can see there is the oil plug. Now that's what we're going to be pulling out to drain the oil. Now if you go further back, there is another pan on further back here. That's a transmission pan. That's not what we're doing. We're changing the oil. So this will be your oil drain plug right here. So we're going to get this oil drained. I'm not going to record all that because that's just a big mess. I just want you guys to kind of know where each item is, and like I said, kind of what you're looking for. But when you drain, make sure you let that drain till it's all out. Guys, I'm going to try to cut you in here and show you what that looks like. As you can see, it's when you take that oil filter off, it's going to look like this. It just screws off. And as you can see, the little round ring around the outside, that rubber is off of it. It's not there now. So make sure that you let that drain good and you wipe that clean, and before you get ready to put your filter back on. So guys, once you get your oil drained, your oil plug in, and you get your oil plug in, you get your filter off, get it wiped clean. Then what you want to do next is you want to take your filter out, and let me go over here a sec. You want to get your filter, and you want to open one of your things of oil. I'll usually open the little one, and what I do is I pour just a little bit of oil into the filter and kind of spill a little bit along the edge. So I can take my finger and I can wipe that gasket, as I was telling you right here. Pour a little bit in here, wipe this. When you put that little bit in here, it keeps that motor from being dry when it starts. This will automatically pump a little bit of oil into the engine before you have a dry start. Fellas, your next step is once you get everything underneath drained, your oil filter off, and you get your plug back in, you get your new oil filter on. You want to come up here, you want to find your oil cap. Take your oil cap off, which is here. Get you a funnel, preferably a clean one, and set it in. On this particular motor, it takes 6 quarts, so I am going to get these 6 poured in, and I'll get back to you guys. So it's going to stay on a minute till, see, the pressure's up now, so it went off. Now what I did down below here, as you can see, I put an oil pressure gauge on my car so that I know the real oil pressure, and it told him about 76 pounds, so I'm good on oil pressure. And you want to make sure you've got good oil pressure once you get that done, and you want to get up under here after you start the car and make sure you have no leaks. If it's spraying out, you definitely need to turn it off and recheck your work. But everything's good, and I just wanted to make sure you guys finally knew how to change your oil. Appreciate you guys, and if you like my videos and you want me to continue making them, just hit that subscribe button and that little bell at the end of the video, and you'll really help me out and keep me going. Guys, thank you, and God bless.